Good morning. I have somebody awesome here with me today.
Hello.
Eric and I thought we would. I'm going to actually share this on our Thrive page as well. But Eric and I thought we would talk about something that I am seeing more and more questions, frustrations, comments come from moms. And I think it's a real thing. And that's like being addicted to these things, smartphones, things that we're supposed to be helping make our lives easier. And I think sometimes they can make our lives more frustrating. I think that they can be these really awesome things, and I think that they can really help us. And we're outside this morning again, so the lighting is better than it is inside. But so it'll be a little bit noisy. Oh, and you see our recycling bin. Oh well, it's a live video. But I think one thing that's can be really hard and frustrating is when as moms we're trying to be more media free, and then dad comes home and he's on his phone a lot. And I'm not saying that moms can't do it, because I think about some of the moms that I see on Facebook all day long, and so I know it's a problem for some moms too. And it's about like really being able to tame it and really deciding that hey, I have a problem. This is an addiction. If you're reaching for your phone, excuse me, if you're reaching for your phone more than once an hour to sort of check in with Facebook or check in with social media, or to text somebody, then there's a problem. And I think that moms don't see it as a problem as much as they might see their husband as having a problem. And I think it's equal.
Well, I think it's easy to not think about how much you're using it, but you notice everybody else using it.
I think so. Totally.
And it's like, oh wow, your daughter, she's using it all the time. And it's like, well, you need to look at what you're doing all the time.
No, I think so too. I think that's one thing we've tried to have rules about smartphone use in our house, and sort of because we have a teenage daughter that has one, and a almost 10-year-old that's like, when am I getting a phone? Never. You're never getting a phone. It's not ever happening. But I think that it's definitely one of those things where you have to make parameters on it, and then the adults have to follow the parameters too. I think that we've slid here and there, and like one of ours is watching videos in the common space drives me crazy. So
and that's lost to the flame, and everybody's like, what is it?
It is, because everybody wants to see then, like, what's on that video and what's going on. And so that's one of the things that we've tried to keep as a rule. And then but I think as far as like the addiction part of it, I think that it can be something that you feel like you have to have on all the time. And I think that's when we go, okay, there's something wrong. I was thinking about, and one of the things specific, the reason why I invited him is because of the male element of it. And I wanted him to talk a little bit about some of the games that are on phones, because I think it's not just, for moms, we might be just looking at, oh, it's Facebook, or oh, it's Tumblr, or oh, it's, Snapchat, or all the other crazy social media stuff that I know nothing about. But I think that it's really easy to get sucked into games. And there's a lot of games geared towards dudes. A lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, and there's been times that I've been in a spot where it's like, oh, I really got to put that down, because
I was thinking about that novelty of that Tiny Death Star game.
Yeah, because some of those games, it's designed like it was running in the background, and then it would suck you in, and then it was like, oh, it's going to take 5 minutes for this to happen, and then it was 15 minutes and 20 minutes, come back in a half hour and this thing is built, or some crazy thing like that.
And there's a lot of games like that. There's a lot of games that sort of have this engine where it's always running in the background. So not only is it a problem for your battery, sorry, it's noisy here, right, all of a sudden. Lots of cars.
Ready for
yeah,
work.
People leaving. Not only is it a battery suck, but it also like sucks you in. So I think that if you have a husband that's struggling and he's getting mad at you about it, make him watch this video. Because I think the biggest thing is maybe really like admitting that you have a problem, or in
Yeah.
realizing that, oh my gosh, I've got my phone in my hand all the time. And I think one of the things that I've sort of counseled moms to do is just say, honey, if you really want to do that, and that's really that important to you right now, could you go in the other room to do it? Like, so that you're not around kids, because it is like a moth to a flame. It doesn't matter what is on your screen. If you are embroiled in something, whether it be Facebook, whether it be, a game on your computer, it's always a distraction for little kids, always. And it always will take you, always will take you away from holding the space. Always. There is never a time when being on your phone is not going to take you away from holding the space. Ever.
If the kids go, well, he's playing on it.
Exactly.
It's time for me to play too.
Exactly. And it's just totally distracting.
Yeah. No, I've learned some things the hard way.
I think we both have. I think not social media, but like smartphones in general can be awesome. And like for me, for our business, having a smartphone allows me to not have to be at my computer as much. It allows me to sort of triage email, answer customer questions, and help things along that way. But I have to be really mindful of, if I go, oh, I just had it out of my pocket. Nope, it's going back in my pocket. And it's something that I have to be mindful of. And so I know that if I'm mindful of it and it's in a work sense, that people that are using it for social stuff or for gaming, they really have to be mindful of it, because they think that it's so easy to sit down and just pull your phone out. One of the things that we did was, remember, we sort of made this rule about smartphones on our dates, which doesn't always happen, but we try to be more mindful when it's just us out, especially because sometimes those date times can seem few and far between, that we're not on our phones while we're out, and that's truly like us time. It's truly time that we are just together.
Oh, sure. I don't know. I think sometimes when I'm out with kids, or I'm holding the space with kids, and I start to go, I'm on this phone too much. I start to wonder, when they're like 30, are they going to go, oh yeah, he was that guy that had that phone in his hand the whole time, and that's what it was more important than whatever we were doing. And I don't want them.
That's a hard one. You don't want that.
I don't want them to think that in 15 years. And there's times that I've worried.
Trash can too.
There's times I've worried that might be what they think. And
well, I think I think we're raising a generation that they're seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
So even if you don't have a smartphone, it doesn't matter. Somebody you're sitting next to on the bus does, and your parents do, or somebody in your family does, or a friend does. So it's about sort of teaching them smart usage, and that's one reason why I think it's important to sort of monitor when they get one. Our big kids had a phone, not a smartphone, but had a phone when they were younger, because they went to visit my ex-husband's house and he didn't let them use the phone. And so they had a phone with them for that reason. And sadly, that sort of opened this door that, I'm going to switch arms because, there you go. It sort of opened this door because then it was sort of expected. And I think that we could have absolutely said, you know what, it's okay, we're not using this anymore. But we instead chose to help them use it properly. Mm-hmm. And I think that was a good thing. I think that they've had scrapes with it, and I think Harry's probably gone through withdrawals. He's been on his mission.
Oh, I'm sure.
About not having, anytime he sends a text to us, which he shouldn't do, but anytime he does, I go, you must be in control of the phone on your mission all the time. Mm-hmm. And so I think that it's definitely a time to teach kids how to have smart habits, because if we don't teach them, they're not going to have them. They're not going to learn them. And then when they get a smart device, it's going to be like a moth to the flame all the time. And they're going to have to learn on their own. And I think it's super important to sort of help them learn. And we're learning too. I think it's okay to say, this is crappy. I'm going to put my phone away. Yeah. And it's definitely a good thing to model during school time. It's definitely a good thing to make sure that you have times during the day where you're not going to take the phone out. And I think it's something that's necessary to talk to with your partner. It's not an easy thing to talk to you about. It's not an easy thing to say, I'm noticing this. Because it's definitely an opportunity for them to then reflect and go, well, this is what I notice. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing for you to be able to say to each other, you know, I'm noticing this, and for him to be able to say, well, this is what I noticed too.
Yeah, there's times where you go, what's so interesting on your phone? And it's really not actually anything interesting. And so then it's like, well,
Yeah, that's
it's
a hard
not
one.
anything. It's not really anything. But it's a process because I'm being more mindful about it. But I know there's times I've not been very good about it.
But I don't think you definitely don't have that. You're not to the addiction place. I just think that we see so many. There's so many things that's so easy to be addicted to, like these little games and like somebody. If you send me a Candy Crush Saga invitation, I'm unfriending you. Don't ever do it, ever. I will unfriend you.
Well, and
then I will ask you, why are you sending me that? So.
Well, it can be a time suck, but
it can
also
totally
can
be a time suck.
It could also be a money. It could also be a money suck.
Oh, that was the other thing, yeah. Because there was a time that Harry was playing a game, and this is like teaching kids about self-regulation. Sorry, school bus. He was not realizing how much money he was spending, and we sort of have control over his bank account too. And we were like, you spent $300 in the last, and he was like, what? And then he was done. He was totally done with the game after that. But I think it's really easy because it's spend $5 here, spend $3 there, and they don't really think about it. And if you don't think your partner's spending money on the games, think again. Just because you're not being totally honest with each other, I would think again, because I think there's always like here's a power up, and you can get out of this quicker, and it's super tempting. Do you want to say good morning?
Good morning.
So we have Soraya joining us today. This is often how our mornings are. They're, you know.
I mean, the game industry used to be you bought the game and that's it. You didn't spend any more money.
Right.
But now they've come up with all these other ways that...
They have. They've come up with...
and get you to pay for it over and over and over again.
And it's simple even from things like Angry Birds up to, you know, more complicated games that might be going on. So I think we really just wanted to sort of talk about like awareness today, and how you can be aware of your use and your partner's use, and think about every time you pull that smartphone out of your pocket today. I want you to think about it. I want you to think about whether or not, you know, what are your kids doing, and what's going on in your house, and are you pulling it out to take that awesome snapshot, and then you're going to put it back away, or what are you doing with that? And do you need to engage on social media right away, and make some rules for yourself? And when it comes to sort of online gaming, if you have a partner that's really struggling with it, talk about it, and talk about it in a non-confrontational way. Don't talk about it in a way that that's going to that's really going to be mean and upsetting. I think she'd like to be part of our video. There she is. Say good morning.
Good morning.
So anyways, so that's pretty much what we wanted to talk about today. I want to thank Eric for getting up and talking with me, and Soraya for being so super cute. And I hope you all have a great day. Bye now.
Bye.